I'm going to divide the transformation up into three parts: the nose of the cab, the undercarriage of the cab, and the middle section, which is formed by his back. So the first part we're going to work on is the nose of the cab, and we're going to be working with the arms and the chest and the head. And this is by far the most difficult part, specifically because of the chest panels, which is the very first step. Now, as I said, the very first thing we're going to do is taking these red pieces and removing them from the torso. They are attached. If you just flip, be careful of the head because that's what triggers the sound effect. It's going to go off a lot. So if we just flip the top part of this forward without hitting the head, we can see this red piece is attached to the torso. Of course, this blue piece is in the way, but it is attached via a slot, as you can see right there, right in there. And there is a peg on the red piece that slips inside and underneath, and that's what allows it to glide up and down on that slot. Now there is just a very slight part of that slot that is just slightly wider than the rest that allows you to slip the peg out. This is a part that causes a lot of people a great deal of consternation, because if you don't get it out just at the right spot, I know, if you don't get it out right at the right spot, you end up breaking part of the red piece or snapping this entire shoulder piece off of the hinge, which can be put back on, but it's still a great source of frustration. Let me zoom in very quickly. You can see right here, this section is just slightly wider than above it and below it, and that's where you want to slide the peg out of. Let me do the same on the other side pretty quickly. So we're gonna just pull up, and we're gonna put a little bit of pressure going that way on the top and a little bit of pressure going that way right next to the peg. We're gonna bring it up to the right section of the slot. There we go. And it'll come out just like that. As you could tell, I was struggling with it with a bit, and everyone is going to struggle with it. It is just not an easy part to do, and the more you do it, the better you will get at it. That's all I can really say. Now we're going to move these chest pieces up and out of the way. We're going to fold the head down and up, so it's facing straight out just like that. Next we're going to take the shoulder piece and we're going to basically move it down like that. There's a series of joints in there that makes it a little bit crazy, no pun intended, but hopefully you'll get the gist by watching. Try and keep this arm out of the way so you can actually see it. Oh, I love sound effects that trigger accidentally during transformations. There we go, and it is down. Next, we want this shoulder piece facing out and this blade facing down. Excuse me. So we're going to rotate the arm appropriately. And bring it right in here, just below the head. Careful, the blade will want to fire out like that, but while it's out, you'll want to make sure this shoulder spike gets folded in underneath where the blade is. Just going to bring the blade back. I know. I'm just going to fold this panel out slightly. Now we're going to bring our shoulder piece down. We'll want to make sure our head fits in the side snugly, and so it's not in the way at all. This red piece right here that we spent so much time on earlier should fit directly behind the forearm. But first we need to fold this blue part underneath so it's out of the way. Just like that. And then try and get this red piece in that little area that fits it very well. There we go. And then we want to bring our panel around. And that'll fit right over that red piece and keep it in place. Next, you want to bring this little barrel on the side up and over, so it's right there, and it'll fit right behind the red panel that we've already put in place. And there you can see we have half of the nose of our cab. So I'm going to try and quickly do the same to the other side. Do one arm at a time. It is not worth trying to do both at once because it'll get a little crazy pretty quickly. So we just swing our arm down. Watch out for that blade as it just popped out right at my face. Remember to fold that shoulder spike in right on the side here. And we want to bring our blue shoulder panel there to the side, and bring our blade, fold that back in, and have that facing down. We'll just fold our little panel out just a little bit there. Very good. And now we'll bring our shoulder piece over and fit the red piece in just behind the forearm. Make sure the arm is nice and straight, as I don't seem to have it here. There we go. Very good. Now we'll bring our red piece down. There we go. And bring our red panel here right on around. Very good. And we've already brought our little barrel here around. We're just going to tuck that behind our red panel. And there we go. Now you just need to attach these two sides together, which is easier said than done, but shouldn't be too difficult. Surprisingly enough, I did that without too much difficulty at all. There we go. Looking good. There is the first part of the transformation. That was the terrible part. The next part isn't as bad. Believe it or not. Now the second part of our transformation is going to be the undercarriage of the truck. And basically, that involves almost entirely all of the legs and the waist. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take these two back pieces and unfold them so they form what become like the wheel wells or wheel covers or what have you in the back of the truck. just like that. So those are in position. Next, we're going to grab the top section and we're going to grab the legs. We're going to pull apart. And you'll hear the transforming sound, which is always kind of cool, as long as it doesn't get activated accidentally 100 times while you're transforming. Now we want to shift the waist all the way back, and these wheels that were on the waist now become the very back wheels. And as we fold the legs forward and underneath, these wheels right below it become the wheels just in front. Now the legs themselves, specifically the feet, fold out several times. So I'm just going to fold one leg out of the way and show you how the feet go. Now the bottom of the foot, you can actually see part of the grill. We're going to fold that out. That was the heel. Next we're going to fold the sides of the feet in. Just like that. Next we're going to fold it out. The foot kind of splits in half, and then we straighten it out. Next, this wheel that was at the ankle before now folds out. And down. And the two pieces attach in several places, including a T-shaped peg right in front and a couple of slotted pegs on the side. It should fit together pretty well, just like that. You can see the grill with the wheel all forming, and that will eventually be folded up to the front. But let's work on our other leg next. Let me just flip this around here, bring the leg back up. We're just going to do the same exact thing. We're going to fold the heel down, which forms the grill, fold the sides of the foot in, just like that, and then unfold the foot and down, all just like that. And then we're going to bring the side wheel that was at the ankle before around. We're just going to connect our two pieces. There we go. Very good. And then the two legs will connect together as well. Pretty well. Then we just need to fold our pieces together. Now, it's a little unwieldy to do this, so concentrate all of your pressure at what was the waist, because all you're doing is folding those legs forward. You don't need to worry about anything else. Okay. Now I'm going to... Actually, that worked out really well. Better than I was expecting. So we can see the back wheels are all pretty much in place. The grill is almost in place. There are a couple tabs right at the top here. We just want to tuck these behind the top of the grill. And there are several tabs along the way underneath here, and we just want to make sure they are all snug and in place, and they are. We'll just do the same on the other side. You can see one of those tabs right there. See how it doesn't quite line up? So we just push it down and tuck it under, and you can see that fits together pretty well. And that brings us to the end of our second phase of this transformation. All that's left is the middle section. Now for this third section, we're going to exclusively be working on the back here. And I'm just going to move these pieces out of the way. It would probably help if we were zoomed in a little bit so you could see. Okay. Now we are actually going to fold these guys out. Move this up like that. And then we're going to bring these down just like that. And this will slide in on this joint right here. Just like that, and it'll snap into place. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to go down and then push in just like that, and we've now formed the majority of this section, and we're just gonna bring it right up. We're gonna bring these two pieces out just a little bit more so they don't get in our way, and just right around. Make sure these smokestacks do not get caught underneath as we bring this down. And then just hold that down. Should fit into place pretty well. And this piece right here has a couple tabs on the sides, and we're just going to fit those right into their associated holes. And the top of the smokestack will fit right into that little hole. Now let me do the same thing on the other side. We're just going to bring this down. And you don't really have to worry about this stuff that's kind of showing on the side, because the smokestack here will cover that along with this big barrel. So we just push the barrel in all the way and then bring the smokestack up and fit it into the appropriate slots. And make sure the smokestacks align. And wonder of wonders, we are completed with our transformation.